who's actually going to benefit from a 1500 VA, 1125W UPS that sits in a 2U rack, and who can safely walk away? If you're a gamer who runs a high-end rig with a graphics card that eats 350W on its own, you might be wondering whether the price tag of a CyberPower PR1500ELCDRTXL2U is justified, or if a cheaper 800 VA unit would simply do the job. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video I'm going to walk through the real-world trade-offs, the moments where a UPS like this actually saves your session, and the scenarios where you're just paying for features you'll never use. First off, let's talk about the kind of power environment most gamers face. You've probably got a dedicated gaming PC, a monitor or two, maybe a streaming box, a router, and a couple of peripherals. When the grid hiccups, a typical home surge will either dip the voltage or cut it off entirely for a few seconds. For a high-end build that's pulling close to a kilowatt, those few seconds can translate into a hard shutdown, data corruption, or even a GPU crash that forces you to reboot the whole system. That's the core risk the PR1500ELCDRTXL2U is designed to mitigate. What the unit actually delivers is a sine wave output that mirrors the clean power from the utility, unlike the cheaper simulated sine models that can cause hiccups on sensitive components. In practice, that means your motherboard, CPU, and especially your GPU see a stable power curve during an outage, which is a tangible benefit if you're deep into a raid or a competitive match. The automatic voltage regulation, AVR, also steps in when the line voltage drifts up or down, keeping the output steady without having to dip into the battery. For a gaming rig, that reduces the number of battery cycles, extending the lifespan of the UPS itself. Now, let's look at the physical layout. This is a 2U unit that can be mounted in a rack or placed on the floor as a tower. The rotatable LCD panel is a nice touch. You can flip it toward you when the unit is on a rack, or keep it facing forward on a desk. The display shows load percentage, battery runtime, and input voltage, all in real time. In my own setup, the panel helped me spot a creeping voltage sag that the house's older wiring was causing. The UPS alerted me before any components started to misbehave. That sort of visibility is something you don't get with a plain vanilla UPS that only has LED indicators. The PR1500ELCDRTXL2U packs 10 IEC320C13 outlets, which is more than enough for a gaming station. You can plug the PC, monitor, router, external SSD, and even a US charging hub without needing a separate power strip. The outlets are all on a single surge-protected line, which simplifies cable management. You just run one cord to the unit and let it handle the rest. However, keep in mind that the UPS's total power budget is 1125W. If you have a system that draws 900W under load, you'll still have about 200W of headroom for accessories, but you won't have much wiggle room for future upgrades like an additional GPU. In that case, you might feel the unit is already operating near its limit, and any extra load could shave off the runtime during an outage. Speaking of runtime, the manufacturer advertises around 10 minutes at half load. In real-world testing, a half-loaded gaming rig, around 550W, gave me roughly 12 minutes before the battery hit the low run threshold. That's enough time to save your game, finish a match, or safely shut down. If you're looking for longer backup time to ride out a prolonged outage, you'll need to add external battery modules, something CyberPower offers but at an extra cost. For most gamers, the key is enough to protect the session, not keep the lights on for hours. Now, who should actually buy this? If you are running a high-end gaming PC that consistently hits 8001000W, especially if you also stream, record, or run a VR headset, this UPS gives you both power quality and enough battery reserve to avoid sudden shutdowns. It's also a solid choice for a small home office that shares the same power source. The AVR will protect a dual monitor setup and a few peripherals without any extra equipment. The 3-year warranty that even covers the batteries is a rare comfort factor. Most brands only cover the unit itself, leaving you with costly battery replacements after a year or two. On the flip side, If your rig tops out at 400500W, a 1500 VA UPS is overkill. A 1000 VA or even 800 VA model will give you the same runtime at that load, and you'll save a few $100s. Also, if you're not comfortable with rack mounting, the 2U form factor might feel bulky on a desk, and you'll need to allocate space for the unit and its cable run. Those who primarily game on a console or a low-end laptop won't see enough benefit to justify the price. A practical weakness worth mentioning is the noise level. The internal fan ramps.